Imagine trusting someone completely, sharing your thoughts, your feelings, maybe even your biggest insecurities, only to slowly realize that something feels off. They don't openly insult you, they don't shout or act obviously toxic. In fact, they often seem quiet, sensitive, and even misunderstood. But somehow, after every interaction, you feel confused, drained, or like you're the problem. If you've ever felt this way around someone, you might have experienced something psychology calls a covert narcissist. And the tricky part is that covert narcissism is extremely subtle. Unlike the loud, arrogant narcissists we usually imagine, covert narcissists hide their behavior behind calmness, victimhood, and emotional manipulation. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 subtle signs of a covert narcissist that most people completely miss. To understand covert narcissism, we first need to realize something important. Not all narcissists look confident or dominant. Some appear insecure, shy, or even fragile. But underneath that surface is the same deep need for validation, control, and emotional superiority. The difference is simply how they express it. Instead of obvious arrogance, covert narcissists use subtle emotional strategies that can leave people feeling confused for years. One of the first subtle signs is what psychologists often call quiet victimhood. Covert narcissists frequently present themselves as the person who has been wronged by everyone. According to them, life has always treated them unfairly. Their friends betrayed them, their coworkers misunderstood them, and their past relationships were filled with people who didn't appreciate them. At first, this can make you feel empathy for them. You want to support them and be the person who finally understands them, but over time, you may notice a strange pattern. Every story they tell places them as the innocent victim and everyone else is the villain. The world seems to revolve around how badly they have been treated. And slowly, you may start feeling responsible for constantly proving that you are not another person who will hurt them. Another subtle sign is passive-aggressive behavior. Unlike more obvious narcissists who might openly criticize others, covert narcissists often express their negativity in indirect ways. Instead of saying what they really feel, they use sarcasm, silent treatment, or subtle comments that leave you questioning yourself. For example, they might say something like, "I guess you're too busy for people who actually care about you," instead of simply expressing how they feel. These comments are designed to create guilt while allowing them to maintain the image of being calm and reasonable. The third sign is hidden jealousy disguised as concern. A covert narcissist may appear supportive on the surface, but their reactions to your success often reveal something deeper. When something good happens to you, their response might feel strangely cold or dismissive. They might quickly shift the conversation back to themselves, or subtly point out possible problems with your achievement. Sometimes they will even give advice that seems helpful but quietly discourages you from pursuing something that makes you confident or independent. Another sign many people miss is emotional manipulation through guilt. Covert narcissists are extremely skilled at making others feel responsible for their emotions. If you disagree with them, set a boundary, or simply spend time focusing on your own life, they may react in ways that make you feel selfish or insensitive. They might say things like, "I guess I just care too much," or "I'm used to being ignored anyway." These statements may sound harmless, but they slowly push you into the role of constantly fixing their emotional state. The fifth sign is their need for subtle admiration. Even though covert narcissists may act humble or insecure, they still crave recognition and validation. The difference is that they often seek it indirectly. They might talk about how underappreciated they are, or how nobody recognizes their efforts. This invites others to reassure them and give them the admiration they quietly expect. Over time, conversations may start revolving around comforting them, praising them, or proving that you value them. Another important sign is the way they respond to criticism. Healthy individuals may feel uncomfortable when criticized, but they are usually able to reflect on feedback, Covert narcissists, however, often react with deep sensitivity. Even small suggestions can feel like personal attacks to them. Instead of calmly discussing the issue, they may withdraw, become defensive, or shift the blame back onto you. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about their behavior, but about how unfairly they feel treated. The seventh and perhaps most confusing sign is emotional inconsistency. One day, a covert narcissist may appear deeply caring and supportive. The next day, they may become distant, cold, or subtly critical. This unpredictable behavior creates emotional confusion for the people around them. You may start questioning your own actions, wondering if you did something wrong. But often, this pattern has nothing to do with you. It simply reflects their internal struggle with control, validation, and insecurity. One reason covert narcissists can be so difficult to recognize is because they rarely appear openly toxic. In fact, many people describe them as quiet, thoughtful, or emotionally deep. But over time, relationships with covert narcissists often leave people feeling drained, confused, and constantly responsible for someone else's emotional stability. Psychologists believe this pattern often develops from deep insecurity combined with a strong need for validation. Instead of building confidence internally, covert narcissists rely on subtle emotional strategies to maintain a sense of importance. Unfortunately, this can create unhealthy relationship dynamics where one person is constantly giving emotional energy while the other quietly takes it. If you recognize some of these signs in someone around you, the most important step is awareness. Understanding these patterns can help you stop blaming yourself for the confusion you may feel. Many people spend years thinking they are overly sensitive or difficult, when in reality they are responding to subtle manipulation. Setting healthy boundaries is often the most powerful response. This means being clear about what behavior you accept and what you do not. It also means recognizing that you are not responsible for managing someone else's emotions or constantly proving your loyalty. It's also important to remember that labeling someone as a narcissist should not be done casually. Human personalities are complex, and many people may show certain traits without having a full personality disorder. The goal of understanding these patterns is not to judge others, but to protect your emotional well-being and build healthier relationships. At the same time, learning about covert narcissism can help you develop stronger emotional awareness. The more you understand these subtle psychological behaviors, the easier it becomes to recognize when a relationship feels balanced and supportive, and when something feels quietly manipulative. Healthy relationships usually feel safe, respectful, and emotionally stable. You can express your thoughts without fear of guilt, and your success is genuinely celebrated rather than quietly minimized. When these elements are missing, it may be a signal that the dynamic deserves a closer look. And sometimes, simply recognizing these patterns can be incredibly empowering. When you understand what is happening beneath the surface, the confusion begins to fade. You stop overanalyzing every conversation and start trusting your instincts again. Now, I'm curious about your experience. Have you ever met someone who seemed kind and sensitive on the surface, but slowly made you feel emotionally drained? Or have you noticed any of these subtle signs in someone around you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your experience might help someone else recognize these patterns too. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Mind Patrons for more psychology insights about human behavior, emotional intelligence, and the hidden patterns that shape our relationships. And if you know someone who might benefit from understanding these subtle signs, consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes a little awareness can completely change how we see the people around us and how we protect our own peace of mind.